set the tone.
You know, he's talking trash, saying this and that. He was at his door with knives telling me to get out of his house. I picked my stuff up, I turned my back, and he started swinging on me.
And it ended on a bad note.
So I put my stuff back in the car and went back to his door and said, bro, please, my laptop's gone. Just give it back, bro.
Where's his computer?
This is Judge Judy. Ricky Jones Jr. is suing his former friend, Travis Grisham, for the value of a laptop computer and punitive damages for an assault.
Judge, this is case number 137 on the calendar in the matter of Jones versus Grisham. Parties have been sworn in.
Mr. Jones, the defendant was a friend of yours, and in November of this year, according to your complaint, he invited you to come over to his apartment for the purposes of recording some music.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you do that as a living or a hobby?
I do it as a living, miss. I love music.
I mean, recording it. Do you do it as a living?
Recording? I mean, I'm self-made in the game, so I have all my own stuff, but I love to record myself, and if anybody would love help, I mean, I don't mind helping. Does that make sense?
So you have your own recording? No, not really. So I'll make it simple for myself. You know, my grandchildren try to keep it as simple as possible for me when we're dealing with things that I have no clue about. You don't...
Feels mobile, so, like, I don't have a place to...
You don't have a fixed place?
Yes, ma'am.
That you pay rent on?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have some of your own recording equipment. Did you purchase that recording equipment new?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just curious, what does equipment like that cost?
$8,000 to $10,000.
And when did you purchase it?
Around 2 months before this date has happened.
So sometime during the summer?
Yes.
Prior to that, what were you doing to record your music?
I was working very hard, saving my money, so I was able to afford the equipment that I was able to purchase.
What kind of work were you doing?
I was working in a warehouse, inventory control.
Do you live with family or do you have your own place?
Miss, I'm homeless.
Do you have a car?
Yes.
What kind of car?
I have a Mustang, 2003.
So all of your musical equipment fits in the Mustang?
And if it's not in my Mustang, it's at my wife's house. And my wife lives with her mom.
How long have you and your wife not lived together?
We've been on and off, but I have problems with my own family. And with her family doesn't really like me. So I'm kind of misunderstood.
And you don't live with your family?
No, ma'am.
Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am. I take very good care of my kids, too. And I have one on the way.
Well, then you must get together sometimes.
Oh, best believe we do. And everything's in the process. Nobody really knows what I'm doing.
It is your claim that on this date in November, the defendant invited you over to his apartment for the purposes of doing some recording of music.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also record music, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
But you don't have your own equipment?
No, ma'am. I don't.
Do you sing or play an instrument? What do you do?
I do both. I sing and I engineer.
And the equipment that you're talking about is not a guitar or a flute. It's
no, ma'am.
The engineering.
Engineering
it's
is more like...
equipment that makes sound.
Basically, like, quality control, like sound. Like, basically, like, I fix the sound. Yeah.
So you sing and you operate the dials?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you sing?
I
play
rap.
An instrument? What do you do?
I rap and...
So you sing. Well, that's singing.
Yeah, I do, and I'm learning. So the only thing I don't have down is the engineering part. I engineer, but I don't know how to mix and master yet. But I'm in the process of learning.
Good. I guarantee you'll learn it before I will. The mixing and mastering.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anyway, tell me what happened when you got to his apartment.
I got to his place. I put my studio equipment in there, and I noticed my computer wasn't there. So I had to go meet up with my wife to pick up the computer. We picked up the computer, showed back up to the house, and right before we was going to set up the studio, he was telling me we should record in the living room, and I told him the living room has too much of an echo and that I would like to record in a room or a room that has, you know, stable sound that's too. I don't know if he was hating on my equipment or if he was thinking I was trying to tell him what to do up in his place, which I wasn't. I just wanted the best for my studio. You know, he started arguing with me, he started getting loud with me, started saying he's a great engineer, this and that, started calling people on his phones, and I'm like, it's not about that, bro. I just want to record in the room. You know, and then he started getting loud with me, and I told him, you know what, bro? I said, you're getting loud, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, like, get your stuff out this dude's house, because if not, it's going to be his equipment. So I went ahead, and I got my equipment. I told him, I'm going to come back another time and record with you. Picked my stuff up. I turned my back, and he started swinging on me. I fell to the floor with my equipment. It was a box full of stuff, and as he was swinging on me, I was trying to fight to get back up. I got back up. He ran to the kitchen and go grab knives. And in my mind, I'm just like, when he ran to the kitchen, I'm like, get your stuff out of his house. So I was pushing my box out of his house, and then I went back to get my two T5 speakers. And when I went back to go get my two T5 speakers, and as I was coming out, he had knives in his hands telling me to leave. I got my stuff out of his...
Slowly.
Okay.
Slowly, look at me. slowly. I want you to start up again from, I went to go back inside to get my speakers. Very slowly, right here.
I pushed my stuff out of his house, my big box.
I got you. Push the stuff out.
I went back to get my T5 speakers.
Push the stuff out of the...
To get him out, he was at his door with knives telling me to get out of his house. So, you know, I got my...
Speakers.
My speakers. I got my speakers. Yes, ma'am. And I got my box.
So you got your speakers. Shh. So you went back and got the speakers.
Yes,
right?
as he was in the kitchen.
Okay, so you went back and got the speakers, and
I went ahead and I get my equipment. I take it to my car, and I'm upset. You know, I know everything's moving fast. So I noticed when I look at my equipment, I'm like, my backpack's missing. You know, my laptop's missing. So I go to his house and I knock on the door and said, bro, please. I didn't come at him with no aggression. I said, please just give me back my stuff, bro, so I could leave you alone. You know, he's talking trash, saying this and that. And so he tells me, you want your stuff? Okay, fine. And he threw my backpack out of his back window or his back door or whatever, and he threw my camera. So he told me it was around the corner, so I went to go retrieve my items, and my backpack was there, my camera was there, but my laptop was missing. So I put my stuff back in the car and went back to his door and said, bro, please, my laptop's gone. Just give it back, bro. You know, I'll give you whatever you want. And, you know, he started talking more trash to me, and then he went ahead and said, I'm going to call the cops, bro, because you're trespassing. You know, so when he told me he's going to call the cops on me, I'm like, you going to call the cops on me, bro, and you got my stuff? So I went ahead and I went back to my car and I called the police on him. And the police had came, you know, and they didn't really do much, you know, but they wrote down the report and I told the police I'm going to go ahead and sue him because he got my equipment, he's not giving it back. And then he told the police that his name was Kevin Mitchell.
Just a second. Do you have a police report, or did they just see a copy of the police report, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Where's his computer?
I don't have it. He has his own computer, ma'am. He has all his equipment.
How much did you pay for the computer? Have the receipt?
Yes, ma'am. I paid about $2,089.
No, I don't want to see an about. I want the receipt for the computer. Did you seek medical treatment that night for anything?
No, ma'am.
Did you seek medical treatment at any other time?
No, ma'am.
Did you advise the police that the defendant had assaulted you, or just that he had your computer? Think about what I'm saying. You have the police report. Did you tell the police that you had been assaulted, or did you just tell them that he had your computer and refuses to return it?
Miss...
Just give me an answer. Look at the police report.
He's my childhood friend. I didn't put on the police report that he put his hands on me.
So I just asked you a question. You called the police, they arrived, you told the police about the computer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
There is nothing in the police report about an allegation of assault. If you were afraid of him, coming back twice and knocking at his door would have been a little bit crazy if he was acting like a Looney Tune that night. Now, did you throw out his backpack?
Allegedly, they said...
Not allegedly. I don't want to hear allegedly. I want to know.
No, I didn't throw it. I didn't throw his backpack out. I sat it outside.
What did you do?
I sat his backpack outside with the rest of the equipment.
How did you explain to me how you sat it outside?
I went through my back door, and I sat his backpack and his camera right there. The only two bags that was in my house left, and then I closed my sliding door, and he kept banging on my door. And I told him, "Your stuff is on the side." He went and grabbed it. He went back to his car. And then he just started raging, talking about...
And he called just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
He went back to his car.
Yes.
He called the police.
Yeah, he sat in his car and he called the police.
Yes, that's exactly what he did. And he said his problem wasn't that you had a physical altercation or that you had his speakers.
Or anything else.
Or that you had... Except his computer.
That's what they say.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,089.97. We're finished here. Thank you very much.
This case is completed. Parties are excused.
Whole lot, but, it is what it is,
He had a knife, and it's cool because, God knows the truth.
Oh, I never pulled no knife.
He only lying to himself.
No punches that I know of.
Yeah, he was jealous of me, and it's fine because, honestly, I'm going to keep getting money and I'm going to keep getting more.
I'm just going up. That's it.
I'm going to keep going.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harris versus Penn. Step forward.
Devin Harris is suing his ex-girlfriend, 25-year-old Jasmine Penn, for the cost to rent a car and a loan for gas money and food.
Mr. Harris, Miss Penn was your girlfriend?
Yes.
And you lived together for a period of time?
Yes.
And you moved into her apartment?
Yes.
When did you move into her apartment?
I can't remember the exact date that I actually moved in.
Month. Let's start with easier. Let's start with year.
Oh, 2013.
Was it hot or cold?
You know, it was San Bernardino, so it was very hot. So trying to remember the date we actually moved in.
March.
See, I knew she would know.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why didn't you pay for rent?
I didn't pay any rent.
Why?
We didn't discuss payment for rent. I was supposed to help pay with the bills. Yeah.
Did you pay those?
No.
Devin Harris says ex-girlfriend Jasmine Penn owes for a rental car and a loan. Jasmine is countersuing for unpaid rent.
And when had you moved into the apartment?
I moved in February the 28th, 2013.
And you took the lease in your own name?
I did.
And then you met him and things moved quickly and you decided to move in with her?
Yes.
And it is your claim that you loaned her some money and also rented a car on your credit that she was supposed to pay for.
Yes.
She didn't.
Yes.
And in addition, she had a little fender bender in the car, all of which you became responsible for. And something about $1,600 that came out of your checking account. What was that for?
It was actually $1,500. That was for the car rental itself.
Okay. And she has cross-complaint for unpaid rent and the fees that she had to incur for breaking her lease. Now, you broke the lease?
Yes, Your
Because you
Honor.
couldn't afford to pay the rent?
Yes, Your Honor.
You should have thought of that before you signed the lease.
Well, he agreed to pay.
No, he didn't agree to pay for anything when you signed the lease. You signed the lease by yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
He didn't move in for at least another month after that.
2.5 weeks.
So I assume that when you took that apartment, you had intended to get a roommate.
I tried to get a roommate towards
I
the
assume
end.
that that was your intention, to get a roommate, because you didn't have him when you rented the apartment. So it's not his fault that you broke the lease. It's your own fault you broke the lease. How many months did you live together?
2.5, 3 months.
Did you pay rent when you were there?
I didn't pay specifically to the rent. I pretty much paid household things. At the time, I had just recently bought a car, and we only had one car. We worked about an hour from our job, so my car and gas was paying for us to get back and forth to work. And I was paying for, like, food and things like that.
What other things like that?
Just everyday things you need to pay for stuff, just, groceries.
Why didn't you pay for rent?
I didn't pay any rent.
Why?
We didn't discuss payment for rent. I was supposed to help pay with the bills for, like, light bills, electric bills, and stuff like that. And that's the only thing I was supposed to pay for.
Well, light and electric bills.
Yeah.
Did you pay those?
No.
So she was going to pay the rent and you were going to pay the utilities.
Exactly.
And the gas to and from the car. That, that may work out. How much was the rent in total?
$800.
$800. Well, if he paid for the gas...
We were going to the same job.
It doesn't matter. You would have to get there. So, listen, even if I were to use your logic that he had to use his car to get to work anyway, and I was just tagging along, she was going to pay the rent anyway. Why do I have to pay her?
He agreed to.
Just a second. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You broke the lease, and then you
Yes.
went and lived at his parents' house. You didn't say that. How come somebody left that out of the equation?
He asked me to.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Devin Harris says ex-girlfriend Jasmine Penn owes for a rental car and a loan. Jasmine is countersuing for unpaid rent.
Now, if you were supposed to pay the transportation and the utilities, and you tell me that you didn't pay the utilities because you have no proof that you paid the utilities, you at least owe her for the utilities.
Yeah.
For the 2.5 months you were living there, how much do you think that was?
I would say about $200. But the thing is, it's not about me paying the utilities. It's that I've given her money that covers the utilities that, sit there.
That's all he did throughout the whole relationship.
So you owe her for the utilities. Let's say it's $200.
Okay.
For the time that you lived there, and you did use your car back and forth. for a part of that time.
Yeah.
But then she rented a car because how many months did she use the rental car?
Between August to October.
Well, August to October, were you living together then?
She was actually living with me at my folks' house for that time.
Oh, you mean when the lease was broken?
She moved in with me into my folks' house, yeah.
Well, you didn't say that. How come somebody left that out of the equation? You broke the lease, and then you went and lived at his parents' house.
He asked me to. After we broke the lease, I was struggling. Me and my daughter, we had no place to go, and he's like, come, stay over here, and then
I just would have liked the information. It's not the way you made it appear here. How much did you pay his mother for rent for you and your daughter?
She wasn't charging us anything.
That's not my question. How did you contribute for your support when you were living at his mother's house?
She just asked us to pay the utilities, and that was
Did you pay them?
Yes, for 1 month.
Strike out the $200. For what months do you claim she owes you for personal expenses that you loaned her money for?
It was a time, actually, after our breakup. She actually drove the car for a couple of weeks after we broke up, and then for about 2 months, she was kind of having issues, so I was pretty much helping her out with just gas and...
Who cares? You were helping her out. That's a nice thing for you to do.
Well, it was due to, things like that.
Then you should have stopped lending her money, if that's what you thought it was. Did you ever get together during that time?
No.
Okay. Now, let's talk about your car. Who should pay for your car?
He should.
Why?
Because he rented it. I was just an additional driver.
What? Speak up.
He rented it. I was just an additional driver.
Well, I understand that because you didn't have the credit to do it. That's why he rented it.
Right.
But he had his own car.
At the time, his car was in the shop.
Really? Was your car in the shop?
Yeah, my car wasn't in the shop. I was driving another car that my family...
What other car?
I was using my grandmother's Lexus at that time.
How long was your car in the shop?
A little bit over a month.
And how many months did you have the car?
About a month and a half.
How long did she have the car? You have the information.
Approximately from August 19th to October 25th.
That's more than a little over a month.
Well, I don't remember exactly.
You don't remember. I don't remember. And you know what else? I'm not going to remember either one of you when I finish this case.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, you owe him for the rental car. You needed a car. You didn't have credit to get a car. He got you.
Like, still in turn, he owed me for breaking the lease, rent, utilities, so I feel like it went both ways.
And what about you and your kid? Lived at his mother's house. You didn't pay for anything.
That was his grandma's choice. I mean, his
well, it was your
gave
choice,
us
too. It was your choice to rent an apartment that you couldn't pay for you and your daughter.
I could pay for it at the time, but when he moved in...
No. If you could pay for it at the time, then what prevented you from continuing to pay for it?
I'm having to pay the utilities, all the food.
Yeah, the utilities are the same, just like when he drives his car to work with you hanging on the door.
I was giving him gas. I was giving him gas for when we were going. We're going to the same
How much was the car
every day?
How much is the car?
How much was the rental car?
$15.10.70.
$15.10.70. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
You decided to put new flooring throughout the house.
But she was floored when they didn't return.
Who asked for the balance of the money?
Who?
What are you asking me for?
Judge Judy.
It's just my fault. I should have had something more in writing, and I should have just prepared myself a little bit more.
The money that I spent, that's out of my account.
Moving in too fast in a relationship.
We did. I mean, sometimes that happens. We moved it too fast, and then...
I should have never entered into a relationship where I pretty much didn't even know the guy.
Other things occurred, working and just drifting apart, and that caused arguments, and here we are today.
He did a lot of this, just like the judge said. He does a lot of this and not enough action.
What they say about the woman scorn or something like that,
So, at the end of the day, it's my bad.
Lesson learned.
You you're in the sneaker collection business.
He spent hundreds for a high-style pair.
We both agreed for $550.
Did you have them authenticated?
I did not have them authenticated.
You took the sneakers and then went home.
But he didn't watch his step.
You claimed they were fakes.
We did a UV light test, which is an indicator of them not being authentic.
Sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're a bug.
This is Judge Judy. 20-year-old Leonardo Franco and his brother Alonzo are suing Ryan Padilla for allegedly defrauding them regarding the sale of tennis shoes.
Judges, case number 161 on the calendar in the matter of Franco versus Padilla. Parties have been sworn in.
So you and your brother are collectors of rare sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing this a long time. This is probably the second or third case that I've heard of people who collect these unusual sneakers. Just for my own information, I don't think I've asked before. What makes these rare sneakers?
Well, what makes them exclusive is basically because of the low amount of stock that's in them. See, Jordan and Off-White had a collaboration, so a lot of people, well, they admire both of those brands.
Jordan and Off-White, are those two brands?
Yeah, they're two different brands. Off-White being a designer brand, Jordan being, well, the Jordan, you know, the Jordan shoes. So they have a collaboration and they release little pictures and snippets of the shoes. People desire them and they hype it up, which is basically just a lot of people wanting these shoes, and the fact that they come out with such little quantity and such mass of want for them. It just drives
advertising.
Yeah, right.
All right. Okay. How long have you been a sneaker collector?
Well, me personally, only really just a year. My little brother's actually the one that got me into it. He's been the one that's just been around sneakers basically all his life.
Okay. So, Mr. Franco, how long have you been a sneaker buff?
8 years. My older brother, he would also collect sneakers, and being around that environment made me enjoy them, and I've just been following them ever since.
How long have you been purchasing them?
Since I was younger, I've never had money to buy my own, but lately I have been able to afford my own sneakers.
So for the past year. And in the past year, how many pairs of sneakers have you purchased on your own?
I would say about 20.
When you've purchased the 20 pairs of sneakers, what have you done with them?
Just collect them. You don't want to wear them too much every day.
So you keep them?
Yeah. You pick selected days when you want to wear them because, for example, you don't want to ruin them. So it's very rare when you wear them. But yeah, for the most part, it's just kind of collecting them, wearing them every now and then.
How do you earn the money to buy them?
I sometimes buy it, and sometimes people do want it. So if I don't particularly like it, or if it's not in my size, I sell it to people, obviously for more than retail because of the hype. So many people want it. And then from there, the money that I collect, I can pick and choose which ones I want to buy.
So you do, in fact, sell some of the sneakers that you buy?
Yes.
So you're in the process of buying and selling?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you sell them, how do you sell them? Do you put ads online?
Yeah, you can do it many ways. There's third-party sellers that they take fees as well.
Alonzo, let's stop for a moment. You buy a pair of sneakers.
Yes.
Very fancy fuchsia green sneakers.
Yes.
And it's not your size, but they're unusual. You pay $500 for them.
That's for resale.
You decide to sell them, and you want to go to a third party. How do you get this third party?
You post it up on their site, so you send them to the third party, and then from there, they authenticate it and legit check it. Once it's been authenticated, they send it to the person who has bought it.
Okay, so the third party buys the $500 sneakers from you. They authenticate it. If they don't authenticate it, can they send it back to you?
Yes, that is right.
Now, when you sell it to the third party buyer, how much do they pay you for it?
Every shoe depends.
This shoe that I just described, $500, not your size, very, very funny shade of green. How much would they pay you for it?
Well, for retail, this shoe retailed around $220, $500.
Not retail. I'm asking you what the third-party buyer would give you for it.
Around $500.
So the same thing that you bought it?
Well, these weren't to buy to keep.
Alonzo, I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying to you. I want you to take the sneakers that are on the table and put them on the floor. Take the sneakers used. Now we're not confused. Now we're talking about a pair of ugly green sneakers that are not your size, and you sell them to a third party. You purchase them for $500. how much does a third-party broker pay you for the sneakers that you've paid $500 for?
Around the same.
Not about. You can't sell them for the same price that you paid for them. You don't make any money if you do that. Don't you understand that?
Yes.
Is it all right if I step in and help him out? Because I feel like he's just a little confused. Basically, so let's just say
unconfuse us. You pay $500 for ugly green sneakers. You want to sell them to Phil. You put an ad on whatever site you sneaker people go on, okay? And what do you sell the $500 shoes to Phil for?
It's whatever someone is willing to put up. When you sell through StockX, you don't sell to a specific person. You kind of just put up an offer saying, hey, I'm willing to sell it for this much, while someone else is saying, okay, but I'm willing to only spend this much. So you can either keep your ad up for your price, or you can just accept the bid. It always fluctuates. It's never going to be the same, basically.
Yeah, all right. It's very confusing to me in business. Who's this third party? What does this third party do?
When, let's say, I sell a shoe, I send it to them, and all they're doing is making sure that the shoes that I sold them are, in fact, authenticated.
And how much do they get for doing that?
They get 8%.
So you buy a pair of shoes online, you buy them for $500, you pay somebody 8% to authenticate them, and once you get them authenticated, you put up a bidding process and you say, all right, I have these sneakers, I want $900 for them. At the appropriate time, or I want $800, and then somebody says, I'll give you $8. Is that what happens?
Yeah, exactly.
And when you put up the ad, do you put up in the ad that they've been authenticated?
Everything on that you sell through them has to be authenticated. They don't sell anything fake.
So they actually, for 8%, sell the sneakers?
Yeah, they're basically selling, they are selling it for us.
Okay, so you sent it to a third party, and they sell it to you, and they take 8% off the top of the price that they get for the sneakers. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you sell your sneakers that you buy by sending them to a company whose business it is to authenticate sneakers, and then they sell your sneakers and say to you, I got this bid or I got that bid, do you want to take it or not? Is that correct?
We control how much we want to sell it for. So, for example, if I were to have a pair of Jordans, someone buys it, okay, now I send it out, then they authenticate it. Once it's authenticated, they ship it to the person.
I understand. All right, this is the case. You bought a pair of sneakers from the defendant and claimed they were fakes. That's the case. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now that I know how you run your part of the business, because you're also in buying and selling, tell me how you found this pair of sneakers.
So we found this on OfferUp, which is just a place where you can also buy and sell, but that's more private seller. There's no middleman or anything. You just meet up with them and you either buy it or sell it.
Just a second. So you bought through
OfferUp.
That was private and no middleman to authenticate. And when did you see the ad?
We saw it on November 8th of 2020.
Do you have a copy of the ad?
Yeah, I do, right here.
I'd like to take a look at it.
So that's just the main screen. I don't know if you'd like me to just swap the papers to see all the pictures.
No, I would just like you to show me the ad that you saw that drew you to the sneakers.
It's this one right here.
Jordan 5 Off-White, size 11, Rialto, posted one day ago. Ryan. Who's Ryan?
That's me.
And when did you go to see the sneakers?
Yeah, I texted him, and he sent us his address, and we just went over. We will try to authenticate it ourselves.
Just one second, just a second. You and your brother went over to Ryan's house.
Yes.
And he showed you the sneakers.
Yes.
Did you ask any questions?
Well, we did, like, stuff, but it was more of, like, chit-chat. We didn't really ask him much about the sneakers itself.
So you just looked at the sneakers. You had agreed on a price of $550, and you paid him the $550.
Yes.
Did you get a receipt?
At the time, no. But once we arrived home...
That's what I asked you. At the time, you gave him the $550 and took the sneakers.
Right.
The deal was concluded.
Right.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went home on the same date, November 8th.
Right.
And then what did you do?
So at that point, we noticed that he had a receipt in the picture, but it wasn't in the box. So we texted him saying...
Okay, let's put on the picture again, please. Okay. Now, that's what you bought. You bought the sneakers. And show me the receipt.
Okay.
Point to the receipt.
Basically, you can see it's like right here, but I do have another picture that shows it just shows the picture. I don't know if you want me to pull that up.
No. You're talking about that little piece of paper over there on exactly with your finger. That's a box.
Yeah, it's the box right here.
You're talking about that little piece of...
Yeah, that right there is the receipt.
What's the receipt?
That white, I guess, thing you see next to the box.
Right, that little piece of white paper.
Yes.
Okay, so now you go home, and what happened?
So I text him to like ask him for the receipt, and he just wasn't responding. So like we started getting like a little, I guess, worried at that point. We're like, okay, let me do a black light test, because we did have a UV light test. So once we brought the UV light out, shined it on the shoes, it started glowing. Basically, the stitching on the shoe started glowing, which is an indicator of them not being authentic, because they're not supposed to be glowing.
Let me ask you this question. How big is this blue light?
Oh,
this
like,
light?
it's a flashlight. It's like a flashlight, basically.
It's a flashlight?
Yeah. It's this one.
Oh, that you could take with you to the defendant's house, and you didn't.
Yeah, it was my fault, because I just simply forgot it.
But we're just putting together the story.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The only way that you have any possible way of winning this case is to show me that he found out they were fakes.
Does it matter if he himself said that they were real?
Don't tell me it doesn't matter. Don't tell me it doesn't matter.
Closed captioning is provided by Leonardo Franco and his brother Alonzo claim Ryan Padilla sold them an allegedly counterfeit pair of tennis shoes.
So far, you're in the sneaker collection business, you and your brother, for a long time. You both buy and sell sneakers, and you keep some that you like very much. In this case, you did not go through a third party. You went to a private party with sneakers that had not been authenticated. You went... You saw the sneakers, you looked them over, you took the sneakers, and then went home. And then you took your flashlight and flashed them on the sneakers and said, oh, this is not the right color stitching. It's an indication that they're fake. So you called him.
Yeah, I texted him.
And what happened?
At first, I just texted him for the receipt. He just left me on red, like he didn't respond at all. So then that's when we decided to take it to actual authenticators, just to get 100% knowing that these are fake, which are my witnesses here. We took it to their store. They saw the shoes and just pointing out many different reasons. Someone say, hey, if you don't give us our money back, we're just going to be forced to sue you. And at that point is when he told us that whatever we did in the 24-hour period of us having the shoes is up to us. What he sold us were real shoes, and basically, like, that's that.
I'm going to hear what he has to say.
Right.
But he's right. That's that. Okay, now we're up to you. Where did you buy the sneakers from?
I bought them off the same site, OfferUp.
When did you buy them?
A few days before. I have the receipt, how much I paid for them, if you want to look at that.
I do.
I paid $400 for them on November 9th.
Well, that just shows a withdrawal.
Yeah, it was a withdrawal for the shoes.
Well, that doesn't tell me where it went. So what you're telling me is you bought them a couple of days before.
Yeah.
Not yeah. This is a court. Yes.
Yes.
You want to say yes
Your
twice,
Honor.
you can say yes. Perfect. Even better. Even more perfect.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I am taking for granted that these sneakers may not be authentic. You had the possibility of authenticating them. You chose not to do that. You completed the sale. So sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're a bug.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Leonardo Franco and his brother Alonzo are accusing Ryan Padilla of selling them an allegedly counterfeit pair of tennis shoes.
How long have you been in this sneaker selling business?
About 6 months.
Do you know about this third-party authenticator?
Yeah, I also purchased through Go and StockX.
Great. These sneakers in question, did you buy them through a private person or through an authenticator?
Through a private person, Your Honor.
Okay, and the name of this private person?
It was Jay.
And did you go to Jay's house?
Yes, similar to what they did.
Okay, and you paid him $400 for the sneakers?
Correct.
Did you have them authenticated?
I did not have them authenticated.
Did you have a blue light with you, similar to the ones that the plaintiff described?
Yes, that's what I was going to say earlier. I had a blue light at the house, and I actually let them use it on the shoes, so...
Nope, he did not.
Did you take the blue light when you brought it to Jay's house?
Yes, I did.
Did you use the blue light at Jay's house?
Yes, I did.
And you still gave Jay the $400?
Yes, I did.
Were these shoes in your size?
No, they weren't.
So you were buying them to resell?
Yes.
When you put them on for sale for $600 and you settle, so that means perfectly fine, entrepreneurial way to do business. Let's go back to you. The only way that you can be successful, Mr. Franco, in my judgment, which is the only one that counts here, is if you had evidence that he knew, and the only way he could know was taking them to an authenticator who advised him that they were fake sneakers. Your contract with him was concluded when you went to his house. You were certainly not restricted in any way from inspecting the shoes. The ad for the shoes did not indicate that they had been authenticated by any company. That says...
Does it matter if he himself said that they were real?
Don't tell me it doesn't matter. That's called puffing. This is the ad. You are not a naive buyer. You both buy and sell sneakers in a very sophisticated fashion in order to make side money, which is exactly what the defendant does. This is a strictly contract sale. You went, you saw them, you actually had the capacity to take your flashlight with you and shine the light on, which might have given you a clue that, I'm not sure these are real. I'm going to have to take them to an authenticator. You could have done that, but you did at a price. You went and saw them. You said, I liked them. You took them home. You gave him the money. Contract is finished. Now, the only way that you can demonstrate to me that you have any possible way of winning this case is to show me that between the time he says he bought them and the time he sold them to you, he found out they were fakes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by Real Cases, Real People. Judge Judy. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, the only way that you can, I'm going to say it again, demonstrate to me that you have any possible way of winning this case is to show me that between the time he says he bought them and the time he sold them to you, he found out they were fakes.
Well, the only way
and you can't do that. Your contract is concluded. I don't need to speak to an expert. I am taking for granted that these sneakers may not be authentic. That's your problem. You had the possibility of authenticating them. You chose not to do that. You completed the sale. So sometimes you're a bug. Today you were the bug. Next time you'll be smarter. Your case is dismissed. We're finished.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. This case is concluded.
And on the next Judge Judy.
The pet that you decided on was a tortoise.
We took her to the vet. That's when they told us that she had pneumonia and she was too far gone.
Do you remember any of the tortoises getting sick?
Judge Judy.
I invited them to my house, so they're comfortable with coming over and authenticating the shoes.
I'm not a shoe authenticator, you know. I'm just a normal guy just trying to buy some shoes that I like.
I let them spend as much time with checking out the shoes as possible, too, and they were there for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I thought they were legit, but I mean, when we did the test, like, they are fakes. Like, the shoes are fakes.
I did. I had one on the side of the mantle for them if they wanted to use it, so.
Basically, if you were to shine your a black light onto a shoes, the stitching on the shoe itself is not supposed to glow.
I told them if you would like the black light, it's right here for you to use.
But if it starts to glow, that just shows that they're coming from, well, not from Nike itself.
A lot of people right now are struggling, so they would like to make more money in any way they can.
I can't resell them now just because, I mean, well, that's illegal.
I sold authentic shoes.
The problem.
Paint splatter on both of your cars.
When I went to the car wash, it wasn't coming off.
The proof.
You saw the defendant spray painting the fence.
He and 2 other people.
Now is the painter.
You acknowledge that you were spray painting the fence.
Personally, I wasn't.
Part of a cover-up.
What were you doing there? Look at me. I'm not liking the smile.
This is Judge Judy. Brian Fraley and his cousin Rachel Watkins are suing Roberto Munoz for damaging their cars while he was painting a fence.
Judge's case number 149 on the calendar in the matter of Fraley Watkins versus Munoz. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. Sir, have a seat.
Thank you. Mr. Fraley, yes. This is your cousin. Miss Watkins is your cousin?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you both have cars that were allegedly damaged by the defendant?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What kind of car do you have, Mr. Fraley?
I have a 2018 Hyundai Sonata.
And Miss Watkins, what kind of car did you have?
2017 Honda CR-V.
And both of your cars were parked in front of Mr. Fraley's house?
Correct.
Correct.
Do you also live there?
No, I do not.
In July?
Yes.
Okay. It is your allegation that in July of 2020, the defendant, while spray painting a fence, a job that they were contracted to do across the street, were not careful and got paint splatter on both of your cars.
Correct.
Correct.
That's your case.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's some nonsense about lost wages because you're an Uber driver and you couldn't drive the car because it had paint splashes on it. I'm not interested in that. When did you first notice that there was damage to your car, Mr. Fraley?
I noticed that it was September.
Okay, so this happened in July. So you're talking about 3 months later.
Actually, August. It was actually August when I first contacted Mr. Munoz.
Okay, so that's within a month.
Correct.
Of the incident.
Yes.
When did you first notice that there was damage to the car?
In August, it was a couple weeks after they had painted. I went to get my car washed, and we had fires at that time. We had fires all around California, all around us. And so I thought it was ash and soot, so I went to the car wash, and it wasn't coming off. So I asked the detailer what he thought it was, and he said it looks like...
Don't tell you, just... Don't tell me what the detailer said. Miss Watkins, when did you first notice there was damage to your car?
It was also in August. Again, I thought it was ash from all the fires, and when I went to the car wash, I noticed it wasn't coming off, and then I remembered that there was the painting of the fence, so
Okay.
I just...
Now I'd like to see the damage that you are alleging caused, because, Mr. Munoz, you acknowledge that you were spray painting the fence across the street in July.
Personally, I wasn't.
Your company was.
Yeah, I guess you can say that. But I actually know the customer actually paid the gentleman herself to redo it. Ryan.
What?
Yeah. I initially...
Well, then what are you doing there?
I have no idea. I guess I'm his only form of contact that he had regarding the paint, and he blamed me for it. I tried explaining that I didn't do it, but he didn't.
Do the painting?
No, I did. There was two times we painted it. The first time I painted it with a roller and brush. The second time was with the sprayer, and that was when he got contracted to do the job.
Just a second. Who paid him to do the job?
The customer, the owner of the house.
Not you.
No. I tried to explain that to him.
I'll get to that in a second. Okay. Mr. Fraley.
Yes.
Mr. Munoz, who you're suing, says that he didn't do the spray painting on the fence. Some to say that he's the one who spray painted the fence, that he didn't pay him as the general contractor, the owner of the house paid him, and that you're suing the wrong person.
It's nonsense. I can see them outside my door, outside my window.
You have a picture of me?
And they were all out there.
Just a second. Don't speak.
Sorry.
So is what you're saying to me that you saw the defendant spray painting the fence? Is
Correct.
that what you're saying?
Yes, he and 2 other people.
Okay. Hold on. Mr. Munoz, is it your statement that you personally, nor your company, had anything to do with spray painting this fence?
The second time the fence got painted, I assisted with helping him, sand down the previous paint. I did present myself before he started because I wanted to make sure that he went and knocked on every door to let them know that they were going to be painting, which he did. Also, he did.
No. What were you doing there?
Well, being that I built the fence from the ground up, it was still my baby. I wanted to make sure the customer was going to be happy regardless. You know, I don't want nothing foul to go wrong. So I was here, make sure to oversee the job being done, even though I wasn't getting paid for it, but still.
So you were not.
Right.
Just a second. Did you receive any compensation for spray painting the fence?
No.
Could you bring up your witness, please? Ramirez, how much were you paid for spray painting the fence?
$1,300.
Did you have any assistance in spray painting the fence?
Yes, I did.
Who helped you?
My buddy Chris.
And you have his phone number?
Yes.
Look at me.
Yes.
And were you paid the $1,300 by check or cash?
Cash.
From whom?
From Irma, I believe her name is.
Did you ever personally speak to Irma?
Yes.
On what date?
I couldn't recall the actual date.
Did you get the referral for the job from Mr. Munez?
Yes.
Have you done spray painting before?
Yes.
For other people or for Mr. Munez?
For other people.
Do you have a company?
No.
So it's word of mouth you get the jobs?
Yeah.
Do you have your own spray painting equipment?
No.
Where do you get the spray painting equipment from?
I got that from...
No. Look at me. I'm not liking the smile. Where did you get the spray painting equipment from?
From Roberto.
From Mr. Munez?
Yes.
Did you pay him for the spray painting equipment?
No, I did not.
Sit. Now you can sit. Now he's got the right defendant. He's got you. He's got you. Eventually you get it. Now, damage that you allege occurred.
Can I see those pictures also? I have yet to see them myself. He's yet to show me anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. Where is that a picture of? Is that a picture of the front of the car?
This is the front of the car.
Okay.
And I have more. That's the back
now,
of the car.
That's those are two different... Of the same car?
Of the same car. This is the brake light.
That's the brake light.
This is the pictures of the windows.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of a little hard to see because of the glare, but...
Okay.
There were 6 cars, wasn't there, Your Honor?
Can I see? Don't say anything.
Okay.
Please, don't say anything.
Sorry.
That's of the front window where the windshield wipers are.
Got it. Okay, next.
And this is a picture of the hood.
Okay, now can I see pictures of Miss Watkins' car? Yes.
That is my front light.
Got it.
This is my driver's side mirror.
Got it.
And these two are the hood of my car. There's a little glare on it, but those are the hood.
Got it. Now I see. And give them to Mr. Munoz, please.
Yes.
Now, do you have estimates for me to have both cars buffed out of that spray paint?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see it?
They gave it to us separately, so they're not together.
Yes. I want to see them separate.
It's Photoshop.
Okay. So the total cost for one car is $900?
Correct. And it's the same person who did the same. He's doing another estimate for her. Same price.
Yes. Looks very, very reasonable.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
So when the dog walked in, he knocked
into it, and then the pole started teetering over, making a scraping sound as it was going down, and then the ringing when it hit the floor. He ran underneath the jet ski trailer, and when he came out wagging his tail...
There was only a piece of it left.
Closed captioning is provided by Brian Fraley and his cousin Rachel Watkins claim Roberto Munoz damaged their cars with overspray while he was painting a fence.
Do you have estimates?
Yes.
May I see it? Yes. I want to see them. Okay. So the total cost for one car is $900?
Correct. And it's the same person doing another estimate for her. Same price.
Yes. Looks very, very reasonable. Listen, you got to be more careful, Mr. Munoz, with the people that you hire and the equipment that you let them use. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $1,800 that you split between two of you. We're done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
It was the right decision. We actually saw him do it.
I think it wasn't a good decision at all.
My grandfather and I both saw him, all of them do it.
It's just pretty much his word over mine. That pain could have came from anywhere.
That was absolutely false. I have evidence that the people that hired him, he got paint all over their cars as well.
He said it was 3 months ago, then he backtracked and he said it was only a week ago. I mean, come on.
What I saw them doing at first was sanding, and then
right off the bat, she believes it.
A couple hours later, I then saw them spraying. I didn't think anything of it.
We had plastic all over wrapped around everywhere. He got knocked on his door and spoken to let know that they were going to be spraying. So
I'm thankful that my car's going to get fixed.
That was the reason we knocked. I mean,
it was brand new. I had just had it for about a month.
Maybe he was just lazy, didn't want to move it. I don't know.
It was in pristine condition.
People need to get their own jobs, you know what I mean? Instead of hard-earned money.
We're just glad it's finally settled.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Grover versus Flink. Step forward.
Victoria and Norman Grover are suing former friend Robert Flink for vet bills after their Cocker Spaniel was injured on his property.
Mrs. Grover, what is your dog's name?
Rocky.
And how old is Rocky?
6 years old.
You were looking at some property, you and your husband. And the property was owned by Mr. Flink?
Yes, my family.
What kind of property is it, Mr. Flink?
It's an old single-family house with a detached garage.
On how much property?
The lot is 76 by 100.
Where is it located?
It's in Costa Mesa.
On what date did you go and look at the property?
June 24th.
Of this year?
Of this year, 2013, yes.
This is what your case is about. You went to look at the property. When you got to the property, the dog, Rocky?
Yes.
Rocky, who was leashed at the time.
Yes.
Someone took the leash off the dog. Who did that?
Bob Flink.
And you agree that you took the leash off the dog?
Yes.
So the dog could run around?
I had brought my dogs there, too, since she had brought her dog.
What kind of dog did you have?
German Short-Hair Pointer that I got from the rescue about a year ago. And then I had my neighbor's dog, Henry, who was a Heinz 57 variety dog.
Okay. So the three dogs were sort of running around?
Yeah.
And had you looked at the house?
Yes.
Did you like Rocky took place in the garage?
Yes.
Would you like to tell me what happened?
Shall I start from when I just got there or from the incident?
No, start with you looked at the house, you liked the house, and now you're outside. The dogs are running around, all three dogs. And when you tell me the story, keep your voice up a little bit because I'm...
Okay. So we were outside looking at the yard, and then Bob had showed us the garage. And there's 2 garage doors. And, Your Honor, I had learned that garage was not going to be part of the lease, that we were not able to use that. So Mr. Flink opened up the first garage door.
When you open up the garage door, is that an automatic door?
I don't believe so.
How do you open the garage door?
It's a garage door that swings open, so you have to grab a hold of the handle in the middle and swing it out towards you, and then push it up open.
So you bent down, opened up the garage door.
Yes.
And so we saw there was, I believe, recreational vehicles there. It was filled up. So then he went to the other garage door. As he was opening that up, Your Honor, my dog, Rocky, ran in the same time that an iron pole of...
Similar to this.
Similar to this.
Put similar down.
Okay. Fell and crushed his tail as he ran in.
Where was the pole from, Mr. Flink?
It was leaning up on the inside of the garage.
So when the dog walked in, he knocked it?
He knocked into it, and then the pole started teetering over. It bounced off the wave runner that was in there and then continued on to the garage floor. I mean, making a scraping sound as it was going down and then the ringing when it hit the floor. And then Rocky was in that area. He ran underneath the jet ski trailer that was in there, and when he came out wagging his tail, it was
There was
bleeding.
only a piece of it left.
No, it was just bleeding.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What didn't you understand that I needed this additional explanation from you?
I just want to clear it up.
There's nothing that was unclear to me.
Okay.
Did I look confused to you?
No, you don't at all.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Victoria and Norman Grover say former friend Robert Flink is responsible for vet bills after their Cocker Spaniel's tail was crushed while the dog was on his property.
So when the dog walked in, he
He knocked into it, and then the pole started teetering over. He ran underneath the jet ski trailer, and when he came out wagging his tail,
There was
bleeding.
only a piece of it left.
got out 2 first aid kits, and Norm bandaged it up after Vicky had hosed him off. We sprayed it down.
Hosed him off because he was bleeding?
Yes.
Okay.
And it just looked like a little cut in his tail. Couldn't tell what was...
Whatever. So you took him to the vet. The vet had to amputate a piece of the tail. Vet bill was $998. $998 that you want Mr. Flink to be responsible for.
Yes.
That's what the case is. Is that simple?
May I...
What did I miss?
Well, Mr. Flink said that he had ran into something to cause it to fall.
I don't care whether he ran into something or not.
Okay.
On the property, he took the leash off the dog.
Yes.
While you didn't protest that, he let the dog gain access to the garage. So, Mr. Flink, why do you not think that you're responsible for this vet bill?
Well, when I started to open up the garage, it was only a third of the way open when Rocky ran in. And then I had to change my hand position to open up the garage door the rest of the way, and the bar wasn't falling until the door was open and I could see what was going on. And it hit the wave runner, which I wouldn't have something propped up in there to hit the jet ski.
Just a second. Let us substitute a 2-year-old toddler for Rocky.
All right.
If a child was injured under the same circumstance on your property because there was a pole was loose so that the child was injured, why would you think you were not responsible?
Well, you wouldn't have a child crawl underneath the garage door as I was opening it up.
Right, but you might have a puppy.
Well, the other 2 dogs that were there, they didn't go running into the door. Only
Well, just a
Rocky
second.
here.
One of those was yours.
Yes.
Maybe yours is smart and knew about the loose pole.
It wasn't... It was propped up in the garage to where it was going to stay unless something happened to hit it.
It's your responsibility, sir, to see to it that your property is in order so that it's not going to hurt anybody or anything. Why would you open the garage door anyway?
They wanted to see if there was any storage room in the garage.
Well, let me hear. I'm just curious. What's that conversation? The garage was not being rented with the house.
Right.
So tell me about the conversation. Did you say to them, there really is no room for you to store your stuff in here? Let me show you. Is that why you opened the garage?
I opened the garage because they asked to see if there was any room in there for storage for bicycles or whatever.
And what did you say to them?
I said the garage was full.
So why did you open it?
As a courtesy to show them that there wasn't any room in there.
It's your property.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by Real Cases, Real People. Judge Judy. Have thumb. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
What did you say to them?
I said the garage was full.
So why did you open it?
As a courtesy to show them that there wasn't any room in there.
It's your property. In any event, can I see the vet bill, please?
Your Honor, by the way, that's not how it happened.
Well, I'd like to hear your version of how it happened.
So we saw the inside of the house. Fine. He brought
We're outside the house already. We're
outside
in
the
garage.
house, yes. And I said the garage is not included, correct? That's all I stated. I just wanted to confirm that. And that's when Bob went into action and he opened the garage door.
Explain that to me. I don't understand what you're saying.
I didn't ask to see the garage at all. We already understood that the garage was not a part of the rental.
Mr. Grover, what part of you won your case 5 minutes ago? Didn't you understand that I needed this additional explanation from you?
I just want to clear it up, that's all.
There's nothing that was unclear to me.
Okay.
Did I look confused to you?
No, you don't at all.
Judge, for the plaintiff in the amount of $988.11. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Mr. Simeone Hedgecotto, what you say?
Witness put a dent in her story.
This is not going to be without pain.
Next, Judge Judy.
I think I was right. It wasn't my fault.
I'm very pleased.
The dog banged into something into the garage, and that's what caused the bar to tip over.
He had said, sue me, and he hung up on me.
I got 2 first aid kits out of the garage, and Norm bandaged up the dog's tail after Vicky had hosed it off.
We sent him off with my wife to the vet as soon as possible.
The dog's tail was still bleeding.
They had to do surgery to find out if they could stitch it up or if it would to be amputated.
If something hadn't been done, it would have just kept bleeding.
With that type of an injury, he just would have bled to death.